The show is starting.
I'm Sinbad the sailor, so hardy and hale. I live on an island on the back of a whale. It's a whale of an island. That's not a bad joke. Its lord and its master is this handsome bloke. Oh, the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow. Sinbad the sailor. I scare all creation on land or on sea, but talk about women, they all fall for me. I take my adventures wherever they're found. I don't want to brag, folks, but I've been around. Oh, the most phenomenal, extra special kind of fellow. Sinbad the sailor. From the Valley of Serpents, these diamonds I took. I clean out those serpents with one dirty look. Serpents. Oh, look at this monster so strong and so huge. He'd frighten King Kong, but he's only my stooge. The capture of Bula for me was just fun. Whoever said two heads were better than one? Ha ha! The most phenomenal, extraordinary fellow.
Use, Sin Lousy Sailor!
On one of my travels, I ran into this. Now, there was a thrill I'd be sorry to miss. He spread out his wings and the sunlight grew dim. He took me in his feet, but I ran all with him. Oh, the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow. Sinbad the sailor. Oh, the most phenomenal, extra special kind of fellow. Sinbad the sailor. I'm afraid of nobody under the sun. All I say is boo and my enemies run. Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow? hello.
It's Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eats me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm one tough gazookas, which hates all palookas, but ain't on the up and square. Why biffs and I bops 'em and always out-roughs 'em, but none of them gets nowhere. If anyone dashes to risk me fist, it's pop and it's wham, understand? So keep good behavior, that's your one lifesaver with Popeye the Sailor Man. Oh, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Who fills the air with a note so sour and dares to challenge Sinbad's power? Why, I've hit him. Wreck that ship. But bring me the woman.
Oh, that was a nice ship we had once. Hey, did you see the same thing I saw? I'm gonna take another look at that thing, see what that was. That's the biggest buzzard I ever saw. Look at that fellow go.
Oh, where am I?
What is this?
Hey, keep away from me, you! Stop that! Let me alone! Don't do that! I'll pop your face right.
Come here.
I won't!
Get up, sugar, and give us a little smack.
I'll give you a smack all right there!
Hey, we gotta save olive oil. Come on, Wimpy, hurry up before it's too late. Into the brink. End of the line, everybody up.
Oh, what's this? The Isle of Sinbad, enter not, or whosoever passeth on Sinbad. Somebody put each other funny around here. Oh, luncheon.
Well,
Here I go within it. Ooh, I don't like this place at all. Whew. Sorry I ever came in here. It's kind of spooky to me around here. What's this? Oh.
oh yeah.
Trying to scare me like that, huh? Can you imagine that dumb mama nose trying to scare me like that, huh? Oh, can you do that?
Oh. Oh, I'm coming, Olive. I just got a little wall here. Oh.
Do I hear footprints above you?
Oh. I did. What are you gonna do about it, huh? How did you get in here?
Oh, fouled again. I must resort to my last hamburger. Oh. Huh?
Hey, I wants me Goyle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Who are you?
Who am I?
You heard what I
Who
said.
am I?
That's what I said.
Why? Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow?
Nice little picture, Jeff.
Who's the most phenomenal, extra special kind of fellow? I'm all made up, nobody under the sun. All I say is, boo when my enemies run. Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow? Who?
Popeye the Sailor.
What?
You better fix your shirt there, young fella.
The old goose has cooked this guy. Hey, hey, don't you think we better talk this thing over?
Try and get out of this one.
Oh, my head, foot.
Comfort to sleep, my baby kid, my peaches and cream, my baby kid. If you don't sleep, my baby kid, I close for you your two eyes like this. Yeah.
Oh, 2 against 1, huh? How do you like that?
What for you like that Popeye smack our face? How do you like about that? You hold that Popeye in this hand. Bicarbonate, if I had that mug in this hand, I make from him special dish of chop fricassees. I don't like chop Popeye fricassees. I make for you to like it.
Oh, why you two-headed that face for your fiction? How do you like that? Come on, you're gonna take a double header this time. Wham!
Well, I guess I fixed those two fellas. I won't hear from them anymore.
Oh, yeah? Oh. Who's gonna make who like chicken fricassee, huh?
There's only room for one great sailor in this world. That's me.
Oh, says you. We're gonna come to terms right now. Oh, yeah? What do you mean, your island, huh? Is that so? That's too bad, huh? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you can push me just so far. That's all I gotta say now. Beat for beat, kiddo. That's what I gotta do. Take that. Hey. Oh. Peekaboo. I suck you.
Hello, you. What?
Hey.
How do you like that?
Do you give up?
Take that,
What are you, a fresh guy or something? I'll show you. I can see. Up. Don't leave me now. Come on, get up and fight.
Give it to him, Popeye! Give him the Twister Punch!
Whisker punch coming up. Take that. That's right. Keep on. You're gone, places, young fellow. Who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fella?
Popeye the Sailor!
The finest in underground television.
From Milton by William Blake. The wine press of Los is eastward of Golgonooza, before the seat of Satan. Luva laid the foundation, and Urizen finished it in howling woe. How red the sons and daughters of Luva! Here they tread the grapes, laughing and shouting. Drunk with odors, many fall o'er-wearied. Drowned in the wine is many a youth and maiden. Those around lay them on skins of tigers, or the spotted leopard, or the wild ass, till they revive, or bury them in cool grots, making lamentation. This wine press is called War on Earth. It is the printing press of Los, and here he lays his words in order above the mortal brain, as cogs in a wheel are formed to turn the cogs of the obverse wheel. Timbrels and violins sport round the wine presses, the little seed, the sportive root, the earthworm, the gold beetle, the wise emmet, dance round the wine presses of Luva. The centipede is there, the ground spider with many eyes, the mole clothed all in velvet, the ambitious spider in her sullen web, the lucky golden spinner, the earwig armed, the tender maggot, emblem of immortality, the flea, louse, bug, tapeworm, all the armies of disease, visible or invisible to the slothful, vegetating man. The slow slug, the grasshopper that sings and drinks and laughs. Winter comes, he folds his slender bones without a murmur. The cruel scorpion is there, the gnat, the wasp, the hornet, and the honeybee, the toad and venomous newt, the serpent clad in gems and gold. They throw off their gorgeous raiment. They rejoice in loud jubilee, dancing around the wine presses of Luva, naked and drunk with wine. There is the nettle that stings with his soft down, and there the indignant thistle, whose bitterness is bred in his milk, who feeds on contempt of his neighbor. There all the idle weeds that creep round the obscure places and display their various limbs, naked in all their beauty, dancing around the wine presses. But In the wine presses, the human grapes sing not nor dance. They howl and writhe in shoals of torment, in fierce flames consuming, in chains of iron and in dungeons circled with ceaseless fires, in pits and dens and shades of death, in shapes of torment and woe. The plates and screws and racks and saws and cords and fires and sinews, the cruel joys of Luva's daughters, lacerating with knives and whips their victims, and the cruel sport of Luva's sons. They dance around the dying, and they drink the howl and groan. They catch the shrieks in cups of gold. They hand them to one another. These are the sports of love, and these the sweet delights of amorous play, tears of the grape, the death sweat of the cluster, the last sigh of the mild youth who listens to the luring songs of Luva. From Milton by William Blake.
Here before you is an opportunity to plumb the depths of the mysteries that confound and intrigue us. A chance to ask the big questions. Dr. Hal is not interested in questions of trivial matters or of facts that are easily gathered elsewhere. Dr. Hal seeks the questions that transcend fact. He stands before you ready to take questions that used to be brought to wise and aged sages on distant mountaintops. These questions can now be asked from the comfort of your living room. No Sherpas required. Simply direct your favorite web browser to co-fi.com/AskDrHal. You will be taken to a website where all you need do is submit your question in the provided message block and the value that you wish to place upon it, and Dr. Hal will answer your question in a way that only Dr. Hal can. Next, you will be asked for your email address. Don't worry, we never sell, share, or solicit. PayPal takes care of the rest and moves your valuable love offering from your hand to Dr. Hal. Simply enter your information and you're done. Wisdom will flow directly from Hal's lips to your ears. Links for this can also be found on the Ask Dr. Hal website at gonzotronics.net/ADH for Ask Dr. Hal. Do not let this opportunity to consult a modern-day oracle, a seer for seers, a man steeped in the arts, sciences, and esoteric studies pass you by. Now, through the very internet itself, comes to you the one and only Dr. Hal Robins, now making house calls. I'm always amazed when it works.
How are you doing?
I do well, Dr. Hal. How about yourself? You sound loud and clear, and I guess I do too. We were having some weird problems earlier with my microphone dipping out, so hopefully we don't experience that during the show, but it's a dancing bear.
Yes. Everyone must remember this is live. I do hope my voice is coming.
Yeah. Yes, no, you are actually quite clear, Dr. Hal. Oh, Hal, no audio. Wait a minute. I'm seeing...
A lot of people are saying he can't be heard.
What's the problem?
It says he's audible but not great. Let me take a look at what might be going on here.
It drops down. The cartoon dropped down. The music dropped down during the recitation, but we can surely deal with that.
Actually, hold on, Hal. We've got a bit of an audio problem. I'm going to drop this out real quick, and I'll be right with you. Actually, let me try.
We can solve these problems as they occur, apparently. But, we're in a new medium and essentially pioneers, staking out new ground.
I do apologize to the audience. Let me drop this out real quick. I see what the issue is. Okay, it's going to fix here in just a minute. There we are, Hal.
Wonderful.
Say hello.
Hello, this is Dr. Hal, and I hope you're enjoying the Ask Dr. Hal show.
I hate technology.
Well, we are here on its back, so I was wondering about the hopper and if there were any good questions in it.
Well, I do. And actually, we're going to do someone a favor. I realized Reverend Griffin is a frequent contributor to questions on our show. And he is all the way over in Great Britain, and I tend to leave his questions until the end of our show. So today, first off, an apology to Griffin for making you stay up late to hear your question. So to make up for it, I am going to make his question the first question tonight. And his question it is a $5 question, and it is, awake isn't a prerequisite for being alive. I think you're usually still considered alive whilst asleep. But then, how alive is one when not awake?
Well, that is a profound question, Reverend Griffin. And let us first go to what the law says, which is that if one exhibits the signs of life, one is alive. But one's consciousness may not be, especially comatose patients who have no ability to speak up for themselves when it is considered that their organs might need harvesting for some welfare or legally justified as more deserving. The problem is that the theater of the mind may be running its Technicolor presentation, but privately, and no one can tell. Although the EKG is a good indicator. That is, the brain activity can be detected even in a comatose person who, to all intents and purposes, is asleep. So the law believes that the unresponsive body, where all functions are taking place, is alive. But on the other hand, we, the friends and relations of the sufferer, demand more. We demand consciousness, and ideally we receive it in the fullness of time.
I was getting reports, Hal, that we were getting some audio issues. So I bumped up your audio. People were saying you were a little low, and they were saying I'm a little high. So I'm going to drop that down just a little bit there.
Well, not too much.
Hopefully that's not too low now.
I can still hear you. I hope that my answer was heard. We are figuring this out as we go along, and so let's continue and go along some more.
I think somebody just said too far.
It is too far. You need to turn it.
Oh, technology. Bear with me for just a moment. This will take just a second.
An audio bridge too far.
There we are. I'm sure I sound much better now.
Very good.
Pressure up a tad. Too much. We want pressure to be high enough, no longer too far. Okay, good. I think we're...
Don't we say that too much is always better than not enough in this church?
Oh, it's a thrill ride. I love live theater. It's always thrilling. Let's see. I have another question here. This is a $3 question, and this is from Professor Flickenlofen. Dear Dr. Hal, I see some sort of cosmic confluence surrounding the fact that a bunch of gangsters got snuffed on Valentine's Day. when those stung by the arrows of Cupid, were spewing forth their feelings of infatuation for the objects of their desire. What are your thoughts?
Well, the object of their desire was wiping out competitors in the prohibition scenario. And it was an internecine feud among the gangster class, as such hits usually are. When collateral damage occurs, there is a great outcry, but when they rub each other out, police departments are privately relieved. Still, a stray bullet can cause the public to behave like an angry beehive and descend not on the gangsters but on the authorities to see if they can do something better about quashing the disturbance. Such an event was the murder by crossfire of a young newsboy when Mad Dog Cole in New York was exchanging bullets, and it had a lot to do with future developments there. Could you remind me what the actual question was? I seem to have strayed into 1930s gangster history.
Not a problem. I will reread the question. I see some sort of cosmic confluence surrounding the fact that a bunch of gangsters got snuffed on Valentine's Day when those stung by the arrows of Cupid were spewing forth their feelings of infatuation for the objects of their desire. What are your thoughts?
Only when they were in their own arena of love did they feel Cupid's arrows, and it was not Cupid's arrows that slew the victims in the St. Valentine's Day massacre. I'll only add that St. Valentine himself was massacred, beaten to death with metal clubs. And so the path of love was never entirely an agreeably smooth one. And thank you for your question.
Well, Dr. Hal, I'm going to give an opportunity for our question queue to fill up a bit. I do want to remind the audience to get your questions into co-fi.com/askdrhal. St.
Right.
Joyce will put that in the chat in just a moment. And you can also put questions into our chat, and we will get them to the good doctor for you. So there's either way will work for us. But we have our first item for the evening, and it is something this week from St. Joyce.
A relative's research into my family's ancestors turned up an interesting family relation from the turn of the 20th century. We didn't know very much about this person before, but the research made this particular character stand out, and we dug deeper. Horace Kephart started out as a librarian, but the city life was second to the call of the wilderness. Over years of writing about his experiences, hunting and camping for field and stream, he gravitated more to the wilds of the Ozarks, and ultimately to the depths of the Smoky Mountains, the people who lived there, and a lifestyle that rarely gave a window to the outside world. One of his books, Our Southern Highlanders, tells the stories of the mountain folk at the turn of the 20th century. It was a time and a place where the wilderness of the United States was still in many ways a frontier. In his narrative, Horace talks about the tribulations that he and a neighbor experienced at the larcenies of one particular mean and feral hog.
Throughout the summer and autumn, I cooked out of doors on the woodman's range of forked stakes and a lug pole spanning parallel beds of rock. When the pigs came, I fed them red pepper pie. Then all said goodbye to my hospitality, save one slab-sided tusky old boar, and he planned a campaign. At the first smell of smoke, he would start for my premises. Hiding securely in a nearby thicket, he would spy on the operation until my stew got to simmering gently and I would retire to the cabin and get my fists into the dough. Then, charging at speed, he would knock down a steak, trip the lug pole, and send my dinner flying. Every day he would do this. It got so that I had to sit there facing the fire all through my cooking, or that beast of a hog would ruin me. With this, I thought he was outgeneraled. Idle dream. He would slip off to my favorite neighbors, break through the garden fence, and raise Ned instanter, all because he hated me for that peppery fraud and knew that Bob and I were cronies. I dubbed this pig Belial, a name that Bob promptly adapted to his own notion by calling it Beliar. That Beliar, he swore, would cross hell on a rotten rail to get to my tater patch.
So who was this crony, this Bob? We do know that he went by the name Robert Burnett. There are a couple of things that are interesting. First, Beliar isn't just a quaint colloquialism. It is a listed alternate name for the demon Belial. So Bob was likely no stranger to Horace's reference, and his assumption that his neighbor simply had made it his own may not have been accurate. The other is the striking resemblance to another Bob. In this photograph, we see the pipe, the jaw, the hair of none other than J.R. Bob Dobbs himself. The author even used the sacred quotes when describing this image as nothing more than Bob. Is this he? Is this the earliest known picture of the man, the myth, the legend? Only Bob, Horace, or perhaps Belial know for sure.
Well, our sacred writings do tell us that there have always been Bobs, and this would seem to be proof of that.
His history is actually, it gets even more interesting. Oh, am I low? Can the audience hear me okay? All right, how I'm going to continue, apparently the audience can hear me fine.
All right, you're back up, and I can hear you fine. So it's the perennial problem. This show may test the loyalty of our audience, but we're going to continue right through to the very end.
I'm watching the chat over here, and everybody's saying, "Oh no, you're fine." So okay, that's good news.
All right, yeah, that is.
That means I just have to do sign language with you to give you the questions. So,
no, I am able to hear you, although
good.
a little bit of St. Joyce's narration went down to below the audibility threshold at the beginning. Then it returned. So that's what we're dealing with. What you say you have another question?
Well, I do, but I wanted to mention Bob was eventually up on murder charges, and the townspeople came forward in great numbers and spoke for the quality of his character and got him off of the murder charges. But apparently he did take the guy down. The other guy apparently shot first, and Bob shot back.
Well, we need a Robert W. Service to write that saga. But the fact that it happened is not surprising, considering what we know of the history of Bob.
But I have a $20 question from Reverend Xenofact. And it is...
Very good.
Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Actually, I've got midnight here on this.
Yes, at midnight it'll be Valentine's Day.
But anyway, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, named after Saint Valentine. What individuals, alive, dead, or otherwise, do you think deserve their own holiday?
Well, the difficulty, or one difficulty, is that every day in the calendar is some kind of holiday. For example, we recently had National Gorilla Suit Day. So the question is, who deserves a day? We've actually had to superimpose presidents and no longer support Washington's birthday and Lincoln's birthday, but an amorphous President's Day. It's a pity we can't have Cary Grant Day or Ray Harryhausen Day, but the calendar is not elastic. There are only 365 opportunities, and so we will have to undergo this superimposition, and the days must be shared with the deserving. That being said, now we can insert our favorite honorees. What about Cary Grant, don't you think? He was a great example of everything that we like. There was certainly nobody like him. And also, I mentioned Raymond Harryhausen Day, and of course there are others, but I'll stick for the time being with those two, since that only leaves 363 opportunities for future honorifics. Thank you for the generosity of your question. And here is a small poem, perhaps a Valentine's Day poem. It's an old poem. I forget the author at the moment. Perhaps it will come to me. Go, lovely rose, tell her that wastes her time, my time, and me, that now she knows when I resemble her to thee, how sweet and fair thou seem'st to be. Tell her that's young and shuns to have her graces spied, that hadst thou sprung in deserts where no men abide, thou shouldst have uncommended died. Small is the worth of beauty from the light retired. Bid her come forth, suffer herself to be desired, and not blush so to be admired. Then die, that she the common fate of all things rare may read in thee how small a part of time they share that are so wondrous, sweet, and fair. Thanks for the question.
Beautiful, Hal. I have a question here from Reverend Dr. Les. Is there shame? Oh, and it's a $6 question. Is there shame in being forgotten? If not, is there shame in being remembered?
Well, those are good, but of course you can't have shame at both ends, or can you? If you have done something shameful and that is remembered, then shame will accrue to you. But if your honorable work has been unknown, then you can only wait until it is discovered again. For some, it may be a long wait. Different societies idolize different heroes, and what seems heroic to one phase of civilization may seem the opposite in a later one. And in fact, fame is a soaring, diving, flying creature that sometimes swoops low to the ground and other times to the highest registers of the zenith, the dome of heaven. As far as shameful things being remembered, I must remind you of the story in the 1,000 Nights and a Night, the Arabian Nights. That story is not in every edition, but in a complete edition you will find it as The Enormous Fart. It seems that one of the people in the Arabian Nights at one day accidentally emitted a gigantic fart, and he was so mortified by this that he left for 20 years for the city of Damascus. But finally he was overcome by curiosity, wondering if the notoriety of his solecism had ever been forgotten, and he returned, and thought he had been exonerated by the process of time, until he heard two people talking who said, "Oh yes, I remember what happened on that day. That was the same day that Abu bin so-and-so made the enormous fart." And so you see, some fame is better left not experienced. Thanks for the question.
A lesson learned by us all, I'm sure. Dr. Hal, we've got a short feature coming up. It's our friend Zero Boy. And we're going to give an opportunity for our question queue to grow a bit. So be sure to get your questions into the good doctor. This is an opportunity for wisdom. Come on, what's wisdom worth to you?
We're hoping. Let's hoping this wisdom has teeth in it. Get it? Wisdom teeth? You're a lousy audience.
I still have
Well, let's visit Zero Boy.
Here he comes.
Harold, what are you doing down there?
Oh, hey, everybody, it's me, Ukulele. No, Mom, everything's cool. Hey, and today we're going to talk about amplification and how to rock out with the ukulele. Oh, yeah! Wow! I bought myself a new amp. Okay, it's not new, but it's used because I love the environment. Yeah, to the environment. All right, let's hit a C chord now. Whoa! Mom, come on, I'm recording. How many times do I have to tell you?
Electricity down there?
No, it's not going to blow out the power. So, whether you're doing rockabilly, or you're doing jazz, smooth jazz, ooh yeah, you can add a little spice to your life by using amplification. It's really important to make sure that you just rock out and enjoy all the lessons you've learned. Fingering, whoa, strumming, whoa, and of course, picking with your teeth. Oh yeah! What's that smell? And sometimes you really feel like with the music that it's just flowing through you like water. And sometimes you just feel like you're on fire! Yeah! Woo! Oh yeah!
Harold, is everything okay?
What's that smell? That's when you're burning stuff. Whoa! There's a fire!
Fire!
Don't worry, Mom, I got this!
I'm calling the fire department! Help! Fire!
Everybody learns this song in the beginning.
Open the door. The fireman wants you to open the door.
Mom, no, we're not smoking. Tell the fireman we'll be up in a second.
Harold.
So, hey, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson in amplification. Make sure you do it securely and safely. And don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. Woohoo! See you soon.
I've seen that piece probably about 20 times, putting everything together, and I laugh at that thing every time I watch it. So something about him getting zapped on that amplifier just makes my day.
Well, it can happen, as we know.
Zero Boy reminds me an awful lot of Reverend Pease. I don't know if he has that effect on anybody else, but I have a question here. This is a $12 question from Reverend Gofflin. And she says, let me expand it here. Dear Dr. Hal, Valentine's Day may be a conspiracy holiday, and yet I feel compelled to offer some manner of gift to my beloved Yeti life mate on the occasion. What manner of gift is, aside from eternal salvation, is appropriate for a subgenius Valentine?
I would suggest some sort of personal memento, Reverend Gofflin. A piece of bric-a-brac or statuary, maybe, that stands on a shelf and when looked at reminds the recipient of the giver. The gift does. But there's also the personal gift of a piece of jewelry or a stick pin or ring or something like that. Certainly these gifts are well known going the other way. I have been busy lately and fear I've been remiss in that regard. But most importantly, that stuff to me seems gravy as long as one does not forget the occasion of Valentine's Day itself. That is how one domesticates the conspiracy holiday, as you put it, and makes it personal and fondly memorable.
All right, very good. I have a question here. This is a $25 question from Dr. Penny.
Oh, very good.
And how big is Jehovah One's ego?
Well, apparently, Dr. Penny, Jehovah One's ego fills the entire universe, since the entire universe, according to the scriptures, is Jehovah One itself, or a byproduct of Jehovah's activity. On the other hand, it's simply impossible for humans to imagine a cosmic consciousness that can mind everything that is going on in this created space and watching the fall of every maladroit sparrow. And one suspects that the angels, the first order of creation, were created as secretaries and administrators to make sure that nothing fell through the cracks, although to suggest that Jehovah needed reminding at any time is a Christian heresy. Fortunately, I come to this from a subgenius perspective. And so I would have to say that one should not expect Jehovah One itself to do the bookkeeping, especially as we in the church have promulgated the idea that it is a senile space god, past its prime, and possibly even mortal. As life and history continue, we see out into the rest of the cosmos with greater and greater depth, and into the depths of time before us with greater understanding as well. Our literature and our philosophy should accommodate these new revelations, but apparently it does not and may not until they are forcibly brought to our attention by unmistakable parallels with our existence here on the planet Earth. That was a generous gift, Dr. Penny. Love seeketh not itself to please, not for itself has any care, but for another gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. So sang a little clod of clay trodden by the cattle's feet, but a pebble of the spring warbled out these meters meet. Love seeketh only self to please, to bind another to its delight, joys in another's loss of Eve, and builds a hell in heaven's despite. William Blake.
Beautiful, Hal. Well, we have our first monster movie moment coming up.
Get ready, it's really scary.
Oh, yeah, hold on to your dates on Valentine's Day. Here it comes.
This movie was known as Lycanthropus in Europe, but we call it Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory. The dorms at Lobo University are not co-ed, but Jennifer had to come out anyway to see her faculty advisor.
Mr. Swift, what are you doing? Can't you
I
hear
really
me?
enjoyed Gulliver's Travels. Oh, a different Mr. Swift. Swift, you're not yourself. I'd better hide behind this ornamental fountain. I've changed my mind. I want to go back inside. But now it's time for Mr. Swift to take his reward. A Swift premium, as it were. He's no good in a crisis. But his vocabulary is limited. But uh-oh, every time a guy with a white shirt open down to the navel runs in, it's bad news for monsters. The only recourse, an attack. While she's down for the count, push him down onto the fake cobblestones, extinguish the life in this interloper. But now we've got his second wind. Time for a pushback. Did anyone ever see Horror of Dracula? But look, Jennifer's trying to get away. Fortunately, the silver bullets always work. When they hit, that is. It did the trick. You have to be close. They tend to tumble in flight. The silver melts. Mr. Swift, I think it's time you slowed down a bit. These werewolf antics have gone on too far for Lobo University. Time for a long rest in a country sanitarium. But now, through the casement, he gets into the girls' dormitory, hence our title. Time for a flopperoo on the floor. Yeah, that wasn't so tough. Maybe I can even button up my shirt when this is over. Let us take a pause to feel sorrow for a departing monster. Looking cosmetically better with the moment.
Leonor.
The lost Lenore. Farewell.
Well, what makes it work anyway?
You mean the heart? What makes it beat in the first place? Well, we don't really know, do we, Doc?
No, we don't know. We can't consciously make it stop or start. But we know something about what makes it go faster or slower. Remember Professor Anatomy's heart with the 4 rooms and the 4 little muscles? This muscle man that works the right auricle is the boss man. Through nerves like telephone wires, he's connected directly to the head man in the lower brain. And in turn, he controls the other 3 muscles with telephone lines of his own. He sets the pace. That's why we call him the pacemaker.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
One wire, the sympathetic nerve it's called, carries the go faster signal. It's been referred to as the whip or the giddy up nerve. The other, the vagus nerve, is the reins or whoa, slow down wire.
Emotional excitement, like watching a prize fight, or having an argument, or falling in love. Stimulates the giddy up nerve. The pacemaker speeds up the heartbeat.
Faster, 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 faster.
On the other hand, rest or sleep brings the whoa, slow down vagus nerve into action.
Slower, 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 slower.
A lie detector is based in part on changes in the heart rate due to emotional stresses under questioning.
Hey, would you look at that?
From the Bell Science series, a message from the Ask Dr. Hal show anticipating Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day Eve.
I found out those were roundly panned when they came out. The critics hated those videos, and they've they're wonderful. I sat through Hemo the Magnificent, and it's a wonderful bit of educational material.
What did the critics say in the way of complaint about it?
They said it was dumbed down, and and that it was an insult to the American public, essentially.
No.
Imagine that.
Well, Jack Warner thought it was one of the nicest things that he had ever had in hand in producing, and he went to his grave thinking that he should be proud of them, if that has any effect.
I enjoyed watching it. I mean, it's a little corny in spots, but it's still, the information they give is still pretty accurate. So
yes,
not
it
bad.
is. I recommend the Bell Science series if one
Very
can
good.
get hold of it.
We'll probably see more of that as time goes on. I have a $10 question here that was handed to me. This is from St. Joyce.
No.
And since it is Valentine's Day, I have a question about the message to Edith in the book, The Meaning of Lost and Mismatched Socks, which reads, "For my wife Edith for all her help, in hopes she will contact me through this publisher." Did Edith ever make contact?
Well, I edited Dr. Pedal's manuscript, and apparently Edith did not, but I wouldn't necessarily be told, since the publisher, North Atlantic Books, had a woke revolution and evicted the former editor, who chose to promote my book. They do books on yoga now and Ayurvedic diets or some strange fusion, but not books like mine. I'll only add that the name Perditus Pedal means lost sock. Therefore, the author of the book, Dr. Pedal, or Dr. Sock, is himself a lost sock, since he is not to be found. The end of the book suggests what might have happened to him. And his wife is also one of a pair of lost, and clearly, since they are no longer together, mismatched socks. The rest I leave to close readers of the manuscript. And by all means, if you have that book, do not neglect the index. I always point out that the subject matter can be approached separately through the index.
A wonderful book it is. It's still...
Well, I wish it had sold. It did not, but I think they didn't know how to distribute it. I don't know. I shouldn't blame them. The book was not a financial success. The next book did much better.
There are copies to be found out there, though, so if folks are looking for them, you can find them. Abe Books is a good resource for them.
And you could send it to me, and I could sign it for you if you wanted.
Very nice. Well, I have another question here, and this is from our friends at the Rat Hole.
Oh,
and the
great.
question is, are our dreams trying to tell us something, or are they just funny pictures in our heads while we sleep?
A very good question. And I would say the answer is that both surmises are correct. The dreams, in a sense, are trying to tell us something, and they are funny pictures, since all of the array of symbology is used by the stager and producer of these dreams, that being the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is much greater than that point of consciousness which you think to be your mind and you think is in control, but the subconscious mind also is constantly helping you, and in fact wishes to help you. Thus, it creates a symbolic landscape, but it is dealing with these problems on the level of the subconscious mind, and we only pick up on it because, as non-conscious participants, we are able to see some of what is being shown on the magic screen. It is difficult to remember. In fact, it is impossible to remember on waking unless the dream is interrupted or the dream ends just before waking into the waking world occurs. A dream can also be recalled by something that occurs in the waking world that reminds one of what one dreamed, of the scenario which was staged. These are the ways you can retrieve. Otherwise, hypnosis is necessary, though not recommended or entirely trustworthy. However, if you were unable to dream, you would not be able to maintain your sanity. This is what dictators and prisoner guards and people like that know. If you interrupt the sleep, you have the victim at a great disadvantage. So always sleep, and do not be sad about dreaming full-bloodedly. Rather, welcome it, because even nightmares you can awake from and immediately dismiss their concerns, unlike nightmares on the other side of the divide in the waking world that you share with others.
And Dr. Hal, I'm not sure if I mentioned that that was a $6 question.
Oh, well, how pleasant that is. $6 is $6. The good old American dollar, good everywhere.
Well, I cannot think of a better lead-in than that question for our next musical guest.
Ah.
So that is a wonderful segue, so I'm going to go ahead and play that right now.
And who is the musical guest?
This would be our friends, from the Rat Hole.
At the Rat Hole Clinch.
The Action Bastards.
The Action Bastards.
The Action Bastards.
Let's hear it.
For a second there, I had another band stuck in my head. Have you ever heard of a band called the Arrogant Worms?
No, not yet, but who knows? We may feature them someday. For now, let's hear the Action Bastards.
I'll tell you about that another time. Here are the Action Bastards coming right at you.
As you lie there and listen to my voice, you know that I am your friend, and so you can rest now. You will listen to my voice, and you will remember everything I say, because you know we love you, we want you, and we need you. You will listen to my voice, and you will rest quietly. You can do everything I tell you, and remember everything I tell you. We know we love you, and we want you, and we need you, and you are safe in our care. So you are happy, for when you are happy, we are proud of you. And then a happy dream will come to you. Dreams are real good. Dreams make your sleeping time happy. Now you can close your eyes and rest. You don't have to do anything or go anywhere. Just close your eyes for a while and rest. then nice dreams will come to you. You can always sleep easy and will watch over you as you sleep. You like to go to sleep and tell yourself what to dream. Now you can have funny dreams or pretty dreams. You can have small dreams or big dreams. And all the time you are dreaming, you are safe and cozy in your bed. You don't have to go anywhere. It's just like magic. So now you like to sleep and dream. All your good dreams come when it is soft and dark, because you can't see dreams in the light. Dreams are like stars. Stars are always prettiest in the dark. Stars sparkle and are pretty. Your dreams are pretty too. And if you ask yourself to have quiet dreams, they will be quiet. You can sleep and wait for a dream, and when it comes, it will be happy or pretty. You can dream about things that are fun, because you know that everyone loves you so. You will sleep happy, and now you can tell yourself, when I go to sleep, I will be happy, because everyone loves me, and all my dreams will be happy dreams.
Pretty dreams, and how pretty some dreams are.
Nice work. Nice piece.
Yes.
I have a question here from Pope Schmutz, all the way from Germany.
Great.
And it says, to Dr. Hal, Master of Church Secrets, the great Pontius Pressure, and the fellow brethren of his temple. Pope Schmutz asks if it is given to him to marry. Please grant him an answer. And this is a $3 question.
Well, Your Holiness, if you have received your subgenius packet, and if you have filled out the paperwork and sent the ancillary paperwork to our friends in the Universal Life Church of California and the world, created by Kirby J. Hensley, that allows you legally to perform marriages, funerals, and associate with others in the role of a pastor. And, of course, that doesn't absolve you from being responsible for the paperwork, unless you can craftily get the officiated to deal with it for you. That is, you can say, I'll be happy to marry you as long as I'm not responsible for sending in the paperwork. Then they can do that. And who knows, you might even receive a tip. I myself have managed to marry couples legitimately and legally doing this, and many of them have stayed together, although by this late remove I can't say that all have stayed together. Not every marriage is a successful one, but you can be the officiator of the message, of the marriage, I mean, but you have to send in that work to the Universal Life Church, because the Church of the Subgenius is not a tax-exempt and thus not an officially recognized religion. The Church of Universal Life, however, is just that, and we provide in the membership packet the forms necessary to get right, not only with J.R. Bob Dobbs, but with the aegis of Universal Life itself. Good luck in your quest, Reverend Pope Schmutz. Do you have anything to add to that, Pastor Pressure?
I don't. In the Church of the Subgenius, I guess we have our temporary marriages. So, you can specify how long. And
I also perform those short duration marriages, and have performed them at X-Day and at other places like Chicken John's Lost Vegas and so forth. It is quite possible to do that. I performed them in Virginia City, that strange 19th century town which refuses to come into the 21st century, and other places. So it can be done. Just make sure that when you receive your membership packet, you send in the forms to the Universal Life Church.
I believe Reverend Stang conducted a mass marriage today at the Winter Star Festival.
Well, that was thoughtful and helpful of him, characteristically.
And we should welcome, by the way, Winter Star folks who might be watching our show tonight.
We hope they are watching.
It was a wonderful festival, and if you were all there, it was well worth the cost of admission. It was a great show. So, Winter Star folks, welcome to the Ask Dr. Hal show. Let me see. I have more questions here. I have an anonymous question, and this is for $5. Although I have a feeling I know who this is. Madam Yeti Woman wants to know, why are we here?
Why are we, the subgeniuses, here? Or we, the humans, as opposed to the Yetinsin, here? According to our doctrine, we are the descendants of the Yetinsin, of those forest people who came to impregnate the daughters of men in ancient time, sometimes, as in the book of Genesis, called the Nephilim, and they were the star spawn, creatures between humans and angels, better than humans and lower than angels. However, turned out that the daughters of men would rather mate with them than with the humans. And it was a problem until dealt with by Jehovah in his usual violent fashion. So if we are the Yetinsin, we're doing pretty well, because we have our own cult and we are guaranteed to survive the coming iconoclasm predicted in the prescriptures of the Church of the Subgenius. If we are not of them, we are still in their good graces. Stanislaw Zukalski, of course, believed the opposite, but our particular revelation clears us of all such objections.
We have our second monster movie moment. Hal, I do want to remind the audience that we have plenty of time in the show for questions, but now would be the time to get them in. So we will give an opportunity.
Always time.
We will give an opportunity for the queue to fill. And in the meantime, I have a monster movie moment coming your way.
A film by Mario Bava, Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster. We have a diver now. Pull him up. Extras, get out of the way. Here he is. How do I look? Hey, look, something's coming up. Out of the sludge, out of the slime. Huge, towering, bubbling. It's Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster. And what a baggy blob he is. Bullets don't seem to stop the thing. And when you're out of bullets, shake your gun. There might be another bullet in there. Quick, run for the high ground. Oh, I left my swimming suit. Let me just run and get it. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Oh, a pratfall right into the monster. And now it's got a hold. It's sucking on the arm. Pull, help, get me out of here. Mind if I ask you a question? Oh, yeah, give him a chop. The chop, watch the fingers. There.
There, now you've got a chunk of monster about the size of a leg of lamb attached to your arm. Run! Get him upstairs. The heaving, surging monster is back there, but we'll take care of him in a minute. Here, take a rest. Lie down.
You'll be all right. We'll get you to a doctor.
A doctor?
Friends, guests, and colleagues, the Ask Dr. Hal show is currently seeking open submissions from anyone with a thing they do, for the entertainment of others, that they might wish to submit for consideration for inclusion on a future Ask Dr. Hal show. If you have a talent that you wish to share, consider sending it to us. We seek a wide range of eclectic materials. If your submission meets our criteria for audience satisfaction, we will use it on an upcoming show. We take great pleasure in showcasing performers who have that certain something. Please make arrangements to get pre-recorded video to us by dropping me an email at pressure@gonzotronics.net. Thank you from all of us at the Ask Dr. Hal show. And we're back.
That poor fella, lie down, roll over, play dead. Well, I hope the audio came through for everyone. And I hope that by now we do have another question to which I can provide another answer.
Let me pick one out that would be appropriate for this moment. This is from Mob Miati, and it is a $21
he's a great friend
question.
of ours.
Quite so, a regular contributor.
And he's in Washington, D.C.
Oh my, he's local to my neighborhood. What is the least psychoactive substance that can be ingested?
Well, I suppose that would be ordinary milk. Ordinary milk that is not fermented in any way. Certainly not the Moloko Plus from Clockwork Orange. It cannot be psychedelicized milk. But milk contains certain substances which calm the person who drinks it, which is why many adults have not left off drinking it, despite the sneers of others in tap rooms and elsewhere. In addition, I would assume that bread is also, bread in its uninterfered with form, a non-psychedelic substance. But like Moloko Plus, bread, that non-psychedelic stimulus, can, with the growth of certain organisms in it and on it, become quite psychedelic as well. So that which affects the psychoactive centers of the brain, which, after all, we evolved with the appropriate receptors, can come from any substance and any direction if the conditions are right. Of course, if we seek it, we go to the most prominent actors in that arena, but it can steal up on us from other directions, and in doing so, it has inspired saints, mystics, and visionaries throughout time.
We have a good question that you don't get too often, but this is a great question. This is from Michael Hillard. It's a $5 question, and it's, how are your ordained pastor names chosen in the church?
Well, Mr. Hilliard, we choose them ourselves. If we do not choose a church name, we are liable to find that it is conferred upon us by others.
And if we are not satisfied with it, this is unfortunate because they are hard to get rid of. In the case of a malefic or unsuitable name, one must somehow adapt that, then add it to the name you would choose, and then after a while leave off using the name you choose. It is a partial way to avoid the name that you don't wish to be called. So, choose your church name at the beginning. Come in with that name, and don't wait, because one thing that humans always do is name things so they can refer to them. This is the basis of what we call science.
I have a $13 question from Frater Yang Chuanosaurus. Gentle doctor, why can't I think of a good question?
Well, Frater, you have thought of a good question, a question that is suitable for me to answer. And let me say, we don't demand that you come up with extra good questions. Your task, such as it is simply to ask them. Mine, to answer them and ideally make them entertaining, though this is not always possible. If I fail, it is my failure and not yours. We do recognize excellent questions, though, because they deserve some recognition, and sometimes we will advance a premium toward the person who is so blessed as to ask such a question. Or, at the very least, I will recite some long-winded poem. But the good questions are the ones which inspire the best answer. Some of them require a clipped or terse answer, if that is entertaining. So we hope that you will not worry about selecting a question. Perhaps you will be possessed by what is called the spirit of the staircase, esprit d'escalier, where as you leave, or after the moment has passed, then a better question or better remark occurs to you. In that case, our suggestion is always write it down. It will be good another day.
We have our next musical interlude coming up, and it is a absolutely wonderful musician by the name of Peter Mad Cat Ruth that Reverend Pikachu was able to get to do a piece for our show. And so we present this to you, and hope you all enjoy it.
Hello, Dr. Hal, and greetings to your astute crew, both seen and unseen. My name is Peter Mad Cat Ruth, and it is my pleasure to present to you and your assemblage the Pandemic Boogie.
Come on, everybody, we're gonna twist and shout. Get up off the couch and let your yah-yahs out. We're gonna boogie. Oh, yes, we're gonna boogie. Do the pandemic boogie. Do the quarantine boogie. Do the worldwide boogie. Do the 2020 boogie. You can do it, 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 you can do it. now. I wanna see you move. We're gonna boogie. Gonna boogie. Boogie woogie. We're gonna boogie. Do the pandemic boogie. Do the quarantine boogie. The worldwide boogie. Do the 2020 boogie. You can do it, 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 you can do it.
That's right.
Now the little kids boogie, and the old folks too. Everybody's doing it, and so can you. We're gonna boogie. We're gonna boogie. Yeah, boogie. Do the pandemic boogie. Do the quarantine boogie. Do the worldwide boogie. Do the 2020 boogie. You can do it, 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 you can do it.
A refreshing interlude, harmonica convergence. Yes, you can do it. You can do it.
A lot of the audience were commenting on his resemblance to Reverend Stang.
Well, convergent evolution.
He does look,
that would
yeah.
be what I would put in there.
I'd like to mention too that we have a IOU out apparently for Reverend Newman. He did not leave a question, but he did leave a $30 love offering. So I would like to mention that.
That's pretty great. Well, we appreciate that, and so here is the poem that comes with a generous donation. It is called The Princess, and it is by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Now sleeps the crimson petal, now the white, nor waves the cypress in the palace walk, nor winks the gold fin in the porphyry font. The firefly wakens, waken thou with me. Now droops the milk-white peacock like a ghost, and like a ghost she glimmers unto me. Now lies the earth all Danae to the stars, and all thy heart lies open unto me. Now slides the silent meteor on, and leaves a shining furrow as thy thoughts in me. Now folds the lily all her sweetness up, and slips into the bosom of the lake. So fold thyself, my dearest, thou, and slip into my bosom, and be lost in me.
Very nice. We have a question here. Let me scroll down. From Spencer, and this is a $10 question. My mime teacher leaned heavily into the idea of mime as, quote, the shamanistic ability to transform, the shamanic ability to transform. He stressed regularly that when a mime interacts with an object, he doesn't touch it, he becomes it upon contact. I think this is fascinating. Any thoughts?
Well, this object is a mimed object. The mime should not require an actual prop in the non-mimed world. And this is, of course, both the strength and the weakness of the technique. Many are unwilling to appreciate the artistry of the white-faced mime, finding it perhaps a little too twee or precious. And I refer you all to that great movie Shakes the Clown that Bobcat Goldthwait made, where the mime teacher, Mime Jerry, is played by the late Robin Williams. Of course, anything done well is a superlative example of art, but things that are not up to snuff may be a performance of a different caliber, though still ideally entertaining.
And Dr. Hal, I'm not sure if I mentioned that was a $10 question.
Ah, well, $10 is good. We like that.
Let me see. Scrolling through the list, we're starting to run out of questions here, Dr. Hal.
Oh, no.
Let me shake the jar here.
And see what rises to the top.
Let me see. I have one more question here, and it is a $25 question.
Good heavens.
And this is from Bella Villa. And it says simply, would you, Dr. Hal, be my Valentine?
Most emphatically, yes, I would. And I hope that I am. Wow, $20. That is incredible. Here's a short one by William Blake. Children of a future age, reading on the printed page, know that in this ancient time, love, sweet love, was thought a crime. Many thanks for your generous donation.
Quite lovely. I shook the jar. Actually, I have one more. And this is a good $10 question. And it is from Radical Rob. And it is, Dr. Hal, are you a fan of William S. Burroughs? And have you ever read anything that is both accessible and weirder than the Cities of the Red Knight trilogy?
This is a subjective matter of personal taste, but Mr. Burroughs himself was well read and not unacquainted with the doctrines of the Church of the Subgenius. I still, for complete weirdness, would recommend the work of Clark Ashton Smith, the poet and artist and fiction writer who was one of the three writers of weirdness that was cultivated by the editor of Weird Tales magazine back in the 30s, Farnsworth Wright, who published H.P. Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard. He also published The Elusive Smith. Some of Smith's poetic work is certainly as strange as anything that has ever been written. Another author of strangeness is William Hope Hodgson, author of The Boats of the Glen Carrig, The House on the Borderland, and other weird and inexplicable knowledge. So weirdness does not begin or end with William Burroughs, but he is comfortable there, and he makes us comfortable there and wanting more, much to his advantage and ours. Thank you for your question.
Well, Hal, we have quite a number. I keep shaking this jar and things keep falling out of it. There is a $15 question here. Where do I acquire Dr. Hal bubbleheads?
Well, you might have to customize existing bobbleheads, since at the moment we are not manufacturing them. But who is to say what we will eventually provide in the way of Dr. Hal swag? The picture of an apparent Dr. Hal bobblehead, which I put on the poster this time, was, I am sad to relate, a photo creation. Something that I mocked up for the poster. And yet, how easily it could exist if some Masonic bobblehead with a red fez and a face that even vaguely resembled mine would only need the all-seeing eye of Jehovah One added to the front to be immediately identifiable as an Ask Dr. Hal bobblehead. And it wouldn't be difficult to make one either, according to the way bobbleheads are constructed. One could even build one on the base provided by an extant bobblehead, one with a large head, a Hello Kitty, or one of the many Japanese bobbleheads that are avoided. I wish I could say that we had one and we would send it to you post-haste. But I can't. However, your generosity inspires this particular poem by Hilaire Belloc. There was a boy whose name... No, not that one. I've done that one too many times. How about this one? The chief defect of Henry King was eating little bits of string. One day he swallowed some, which tied itself in ugly knots inside. Physicians of the utmost fame were called at once, but when they came, they answered as they took their fees, "There is no cure for this disease. Henry will very soon be dead." His parents sat about his bed, lamenting his untimely death, when Henry with his latest breath cried, "Oh, my friends, be warned by me that breakfast, supper, lunch, and tea are all the human frame requires." With that, the wretched child expires.
Dr. Hal, I have a question here from simply a Ko-fi supporter, and it is a $9 question. And
That's very good. May I add a little something before we go on to it?
Oh, of course, yes.
In the book that was mentioned earlier, The Meaning of Lost and Mismatched Socks, we cited a woman who ate socks. And this is like Henry King in chewing bits of string, but it is an actual aberrant psychosomatic medical condition called pica, where one devours items which are not food. Just to set the record straight, we don't recommend chewing pieces of string or anything else that can't be readily digested. Sorry to interrupt, but I thought I could, since this is the Ask Dr. Hal show. But please go on.
You can interrupt on your own show anytime you'd like. But in any event, this is a $9 question, and it is from a Ko-fi supporter. And the question is, I'm about to re-immerse myself in an old hobby, photography, and I seek wisdom to guide my vision.
Well, I was a photographer once. I was a narrow gauge filmmaker. Actually, I made films in different gauges, in 16 also. I made a 35 millimeter monster movie, and I've been in other movies, but as we all know, the era of chemical
film has forcibly been declared over. And in fact, it is no longer possible to shoot such images and do what was the delight of them, which was to alter the conditions that produced them, to underexpose or overexpose, to produce darkness or light on the screen, also to increase the speed by undercranking or decrease the speed by overcranking, to take the film physically out of the camera and run it through again to cause superimposition. All of these things were once possible with simple home movie equipment, but soon, with the introduction of Super 8 film, everything was in a cartridge and had to be shot just as the cartridge would permit. That was followed by video, where the camera keeps running and does not have to be rewound after short scenes, and thus destructive to the art of film, which depends on close-up, medium shot, long shot in alteration. The more things are done for you, the least opportunity there is for art on your side. You say you're interested in photography, but are you using digital sources, or are you simply framing things with digital devices? That in itself is quite a wonderful thing to do and shouldn't be scoffed at, although it does not have the aspect of special effects which I pine for. But as you must know, other effects are possible, and even better, ex post facto. Since back in the days of the film, you had to have some skill in inserting them before you got your film back from the developer. For that you had to wait several days, or a week, or 2 weeks, and then only some of what you shot might be usable. But you could put it all together, and a very satisfying thing it was to have a film come out even somewhat like the way you intended it. Accidents which occur in art from the magic hand of chance can be a friend to the artist, and formal limitations are the gift of the gods to the artist. But when everything is done for you, the artist must have to try all the harder to do anything of significance and personal integrity.
Dr. Hal St. Joyce shook the box, and she got this one out. This is from one of our longtime supporters, Dr. Billy, and it is a $12 question. And it's Excellent. A good question to end the show on. Why do children love monsters?
Well, children would not love monsters if they were right outside the door, waiting to come in, or if they were in the house, or if they were encountered during an excursion. Those monsters would not be loved. The monsters that are loved by children are the unreal ones, because, as I said earlier, there is a pleasure in waking out of a nightmare and realizing that there is nothing to be frightened of. When an imaginary monster is presented or held in the mind, the advantage it has is that it may be dismissed, or its action may be guided, as in an effective dream, which all dreamers should strive to have. That is the dream where you recognize that you're dreaming and you take control of the dream and have it come out the way you wanted it to. A tricky business, but occasionally possible.
Well, that was the end of our question queue. Actually, let me just roll that dice one more time and make sure nothing else has come in. Oh, goodness gracious. Good. We got another one in.
Very good, just in time.
just under the wire. This is from Reverend J. Cobblestone, and it is a $15 question. And it goes thusly. Just the other day, we were watching a documentary called The Institute, and were pleasantly surprised to hear your voice. What was your involvement with the Jejun Institute? Similar between slack and nonchalance are considerable. Were you involved when this project was active?
The answer is yes, I was involved, and very much so. But the movie that you saw kind of minimizes my participation in it, and doesn't even give me credit, which is unfortunate. But in movies, you have to insist on getting credit. It is important not only to get screen credit, but also to have your work attributed. Nonetheless, although I didn't appear in the movie, except for certain excerpts featuring my voice, I very much enjoyed writing the parts that I had something to do with, and in following through the ingenuity of the entire project. The movie shows that both the Jejun Institute and its avowed enemy, the nonchalants, were actually not as clearly defined as one assumes. At the end, one found sensibility in the bad guys' offering and some nonsense in the good guys' offering, and this was planned from the beginning. What was astonishing was the huge amount of money that was spent on the project, which enabled us to go big with our illusions and with our offices in skyscrapers and other things, which definitely convinced the people who approached us that there was some reality to it. I also wrote many articles for fictitious issues of scientific magazines and others. I wrote one that had supposedly appeared in Penthouse magazine, which is less scientific, but I helped fill in the back story of the incredible inventions which are mentioned in the Jejun Institute project. So I was happy to be a member of it, and I would be happy to go back again and work on it, but I'm not sure that such a thing will be done again. Still, one never knows.
Very good. Let me roll those wheels one more time, because one never knows. That was indeed the last question of the evening. So
the last question.
So great show, Dr. Hal. I'm very pleased, and I'm glad we were able to do it.
Me too.
I think, though, I'm going to move us towards your closing recitation. And if you're ready, I'm going to bring you front and center.
Very well. The Mental Traveler by William Blake. I traveled through a land of men and women too, and heard and saw such dreadful things as cold earth wanderers never knew. For there the babe is born in joy that is begotten in dire woe, just as we reap in joy the fruit which we in bitter tears do sow. And if the babe is born a boy, he's given to a woman old, who nails him down upon a rock, catches his shrieks in cups of gold. She binds iron thorns about his head, she pierces both his hands and feet, she cuts his heart out at his side to make it feel both cold and heat. Her fingers number every nerve, just as a miser counts his gold. She lives upon his shrieks and cries, and she grows young as he grows old, till he becomes a bleeding youth, and she becomes a virgin bright, Then he rends up his manacles and binds her down for his delight. He plants himself in all her nerves, just as a husbandman his mold, and she becomes his dwelling place and garden fruitful 70-fold. An aged shadow, soon he fades, wandering round an earthly cot, fulfilled all with gems and gold that he by industry had got. For these are the gems of the human soul, the ruby and pearl of the lovesick eye, the countless gold of the aching heart, the martyr's groan, the lover's sigh. They are his meat, they are his drink. He feeds the beggar and the poor, and the wayfaring traveler. Forever open is his door. His grief is their eternal joy. They make the roof and walls to ring, till from the fire on the hearth a little female babe does spring. And she is all of solid fire, and gems and gold, that none his hand dare stretch to touch her infant form, or wrap her in his swaddling band. But she comes to the man she loves. If young or old, or rich or poor, they soon drive out the aged host, a beggar at another's door. He wanders weeping far away, until some other take him in, oft blind and age-bent, sore distressed, until he can a maiden win. And to allay his freezing age, the poor man takes her in his arms. The cottage fades before their sight, the garden and its lovely charms. The guests are scattered through the land, for the eye, altering, alters all. The senses wrap themselves in fear, and the flat earth becomes a ball. The stars, sun, moon, all shrink away, a desert vast without a bound, and nothing left to eat or drink, and a vast desert all around. The honey of her infant lips, the bread and wine of her sweet smile, the wild game of her roving isle, does him to infancy beguile. For as he eats and drinks, he grows younger and younger every day, and on the desert wide they both wander in terror and dismay. Like the wild stag, she flees away. Her fear plants many a thicket wild, while he pursues her night and day, by various arts of love beguiled, by various arts of love and hate, till the wide desert planted o'er with labyrinths of wayward love, where roam the lion, wolf, and boar. The trees give forth sweet ecstasy to all that in the desert roam, and many a city builded here, and many a pleasant shepherd's home. But when they spy the frowning babe, terror strikes through the region wide. They cry, the babe is born," and flee away on every side. For who dare touch that infant form, his arm is withered to the root. Lions, wolves, boars, all howling flee, and every tree does shed its fruit. And none dare touch that frowning form, except it be a woman old. She nails him down upon the rock, and all is done as I have told.
That was gorgeous.
And it should have been a dark desert all around, but otherwise it was mostly accurate.
It was absolutely wonderful. Hal, the reason I came back is we wanted to mention that there was a birthday that just happened recently. February 1st was St. Inkfinger's birthday. And,
yes, we miss him.
We do. And to mark his passing, we have a previously unplayed clip that he prepared for the show, and we'd like to play it this evening in honor of his birthday.
Well, we shall do just that. Here is a small poem by Tennyson called Crossing the Bar. Sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me, and let there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea, for such a tide as moving seems asleep, too rich for sound or foam, when that which moves from out the boundless deep turns again home. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark. And may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark, for though from out this bourne of time and place the tide shall bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Please join us at our after-show video chat. For more information, go to gonzotronics.net/ADH for Ask Dr. Hal. Friends, guests, and colleagues, the Ask Dr. Hal show is currently seeking open submissions from anyone with a thing they do, for the entertainment of others, that they might wish to submit for consideration for inclusion on a future Ask Dr. Hal show. If you have a talent that you wish to share, consider sending it to us. We seek a wide range of eclectic materials. If your submission meets our criteria for audience satisfaction, we will use it on an upcoming show. We take great pleasure in showcasing performers who have that certain something. Please make arrangements to get pre-recorded video to us by dropping me an email at pressure@gonzotronics.net. Thank you from all of us at the Ask Dr. Hal Show.